This video is brought to you by Devout Decals, makers of reusable Catholic art for your home altar, your bedroom, and your home classroom. Today, we return to discussing Padre Pio and his letters. And today, he gives us a lesson, an insight into the struggles he had in faith himself. Not that he'd struggled to believe. He had absolute faith in our blessed Lord, and for good reason. No, he struggled with the devil. Here you will hear one of his accounts of Satan and his minions literally tormenting him at night when he should be sleeping, and how he relied on his guardian angel, and how he relied on our Lord directly to resist the wiles of Satan. You will even hear him describe an encounter he had with the child Jesus in the aftermath of one of these battles. Hearing this, it is no wonder that there are some who denigrate Padre Pio today. Even 65 years after his passing, the devils still try to destroy him, even though he now enjoys the beatific vision. They do it by trying to destroy his legacy, his reputation, to try to undermine people's belief in his stigmata, all of it. The attacks on him have not ceased. Here is Padre Pio. Satan is a powerful enemy. When has Satan ever told the truth for the good of a soul? When will it be, O my dear Father, that Jesus will consume me completely in his love? When can I be consumed completely by the divine flame? When can I unite myself fast to him so that I can break out into a completely new song, the song of victory? When will this struggle inside me between Satan and my poor soul finish, as my soul wants to belong completely to her heavenly spouse? The weakness of my being makes me tremble and break out in a cold sweat. When will it ever be that I rest in the arms of Jesus, and he be mine and I totally his? This is unfortunately a question that springs spontaneously to my lips. When I received your recent letter, those Cossacks, before I had opened it, told me to tear it up or to throw it into the fire. If I had torn it up, they would have withdrawn forever and would have never assailed me anymore. I remained silent, not giving them any reply, though scorning them in my heart. Then they added, "We want this simply as a condition for our withdrawal. If you do it, you will not be scorning anyone." I replied that nothing could move me from my resolve. They hurled themselves on my back like ravenous tigers, cursing me and threatening that they would make me pay. My Father, they have kept their word. From that day onwards, they have beaten me daily. But I am not frightened. Don't I have in Jesus a Father? Is it not true that I am always his son? I confidently say that Jesus has never forgotten me, even when I was far from him. He has followed me everywhere with his love. My ill health continues as usual with its highs and lows. I do suffer, it's true, but I am very cheerful because even in the midst of suffering, the Lord does not cease to make me feel an inexpressible joy. If it were not my Father for the war that the devil wages continually, I would be almost in paradise. I find myself in the hands of the devil, who strives to wrench me from the hands of Jesus. So much war, my God, this one wages on me. Bluebeard follows with divine permission to wage war against me, but God is with me. Besides the trial of spiritual fears and agitations, with just a whiff of desolation, Jesus adds that long and varied trial of physical malaise, using to this end those horrible Cossacks. Listen to what I have to suffer a few evenings ago from those impure apostates. The night was already advancing. They began their assault with a dreadful noise, and although I saw nothing at the beginning, I understood who was producing this very strange noise, and rather than becoming frightened, I prepared myself for the fight by placing a mocking smile on my lips for them. Then they appeared under the most abominable forms, and to entice me to lose my resolve, they began to treat me courteously. But thanks be to heaven, I told them off good and proper, treating them for what they were. When they saw that their efforts were coming to nothing, they hurled themselves at me. They threw me on the ground and struck me again and again, launching pillows, books, chairs into the air, at the same time emitting desperate shrieks and utterly extremely dirty words. Luckily, the rooms on either side of where I am, and also those below, are not being used. I complained to my guardian angel about this, who, after having preached a nice little homily to me, added, "Give thanks to Jesus that he treats you as one chosen to follow him closely up the steep slope of Calvary. I see my soul entrusted to my care by Jesus, with joy and emotion inside me, Jesus' conduct towards you. Do you think that you would be so happy if you weren't so worn out? I, who in holy charity greatly desire what is best for you, rejoice ever more deeply to see you in this state. Jesus permits the devil these assaults so that your devotion might make you dear to him, and he wants you to become like him during the anguish in the desert, the garden, and the cross. Defend yourself always, drive off these malign insinuations and scorn them. And where your strength is of no use, do not worry, delight of my heart, I am close to you. Oh, for charity's sake, do not deny me your help, but do not deny me your teaching, knowing that the devil continues more than ever to act with ferocity against the little boat of my poor spirit. My Father, I can't take any more of it. I feel all my strength dwindling. The battle really is in its last phase. Every moment I feel suffocated by the waters of tribulation. Ah me, who will save me? I fight alone, day and night, against such a strong and powerful enemy. Who will win? On whom will victory smile? Both parties fight hard. When I measure the strength of both parties, I see myself weak. I see myself worn out in front of the enemy ranks. I am on the point of being crushed, of being reduced to nothing. In short, all things considered, it seems to me that I should be the one who is vanquished. But what am I saying? Is it possible that the Lord will permit it? Never. I feel in the deepest part of my spirit a giant rising to its feet again, the strength to cry forcefully to the Lord, Lord, save us, we are perishing. But may the Most High God always be blessed, who has never completely abandoned me into the hands of the powers of darkness. Just when it seems that the battle is soon to be concluded in favor of my adversaries, with great speed the Lord comes, to put them to fight and reduce all of them to impotence. May the divine mercy live forever. How good Jesus is towards his creatures. How many victories can this poor servant count, all due to his most powerful help? Jesus has desired to make me an example of his grace, and to put me forward as an example for sinners so they won't despair of their salvation. The weakness of my being fills me with fear and brings me out in a cold sweat. Satan, with his malign arts, never tires of waging war on me, and of trying to storm the little fortress by assaulting it from every direction. In short, Satan is for me a powerful enemy, who, when he resolves to take a piazza by storm, does not content himself with assaulting it under the cover of a smokescreen or by directing his efforts at a single bastion. He assaults the whole of it, from every side, everywhere he torments it. My Father, the malign arts of Satan terrify me, but from God alone, through Jesus Christ, I hope for the grace always to attain the victory and never be defeated. The devil assiduously makes a deafening noise and roars around my poor will. In this state I can do nothing other than say with firm resolution, without hesitation, Long live Jesus, I believe. But who can tell you how I actually say these holy expressions? I say them with timidity, without strength, and without courage, and I must do great violence to myself. Tell me, Father, is it possible? Is my present state compatible with the presence of God in my soul? Isn't it perhaps the effect of God's withdrawal from my soul? My Father, I beg you, talk to me once again with all frankness and sincerity. Suggest to me the way I should conduct myself so that I don't offend the Lord, and tell me if there is hope for me, if God will return to this soul. In this hellish chaos, the only thing I can see and hear is the roaring of ferocious lions, who are always ready to devour their prey. My God, those malign spirits, my Father, try everything to make me lose my way. It seems that they take advantage of my physical weakness to vent their malice even more on me, and to see if in this state it is possible to wrench from me the bosom of that faith and that strength that comes to me from the Father of lights. At certain moments I find myself right on the edge of a precipice. It seems to me that the battle might be about to turn in favor of those scoundrels. I feel that just everything shakes me. A mortal agony passes through my poor spirit, pouring itself over my body, as well as all its members become numb. The life that lies before me seems to be brought to a halt. It is suspended. I spent a terrible night the night before last. Those Cossacks did nothing but strike me continually from towards 10 o'clock when I went to bed until 5 o'clock in the morning. They put many diabolical suggestions before me, thoughts of desperation, of a lack of trust in God. But long live Jesus. I protected myself by saying again and again to Jesus, Honore tua merita mea, which translates to, your wounds are my merits. I really began to believe that this was actually the last night of my existence, or that if I didn't die that I would lose my reason, but blessed be Jesus, nothing like that happened. At 5 in the morning, when those Cossacks had gone away, a coldness took possession of my whole reason. It made me tremble from head to foot, like a reed exposed to a raging wind. I was in this state for a couple of hours. I bled from the mouth. Finally, the child Jesus came, and I told him that I wanted only to do his will. He consoled me, and he reassured me about the suffering I experienced during the night. Oh God, how my little heart beat, how my cheeks burnt near this heavenly child. And that puts, I think, into context our own struggles. We all have things that send us to confession. Most priests will tell you that most people go to confession for one or two sins. Not the same sins, but most people have one or two habitual sins that send them to confession repeatedly, over and over again. And occasionally, of course, we all stumble into some third or fourth sin. But most of us deal with the same thing over and over again. Whether it's because of bad habit or because the devil's figured us out pretty quickly, it is sort of immaterial. The lesson here for us is in those times of sin to pray and to lean on our guardian angel, to lean on Christ, to give us the grace necessary to persevere. That if we have the faith of Padre Pio, we can make it through any sinful inclination. Easier said than done, I know, for some people. But this is why a good prayer life is important. It is this foundation of our journey in this life. That we pray and we do acts of penance and we stay close to the sacraments. And as the world gets weirder and darker, and the crisis in the church continues without ever seeming to end, it is more important than ever that we stay close to the sacraments. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. So does sharing this on social media. That helps too. And as always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.